Hi guys, Jen Magana with Convicted Hearts. It's so good to be here with you. Before I get into this story time, I'm quickly going to catch you up on what's been going on with me like I promised. I've been having some health problems. A lot of you may know, some of you may not know, I deal with an autoimmune disease that sometimes when it's flared up can cause me to become very ill and cause me to have severe pain, chronic migraines, as well as other things. So I had a little bit of a setback with that, and it looks like I'm on the path to mending. I've had a few good days now, so I'm not complaining. I'm feeling encouraged, and that part's looking good. I also had recently had a biopsy done on my thyroid. I had a nodule there that I guess looked suspicious, and I was told that came back good, but I just got a call today. I have to go back in for another biopsy. So I'm not sure what's going on, but as soon as I find out, I will definitely let you guys know. Just keep me in your prayers. I know you guys already do, and I do the same for you guys. So much appreciation. Okay, the story I'm talking about is actually about Jelani Day, the 25-year-old young man that went missing out of Illinois, a different town in Illinois. He was a soon to be a medical doctor, so he was a student, and he was 25 years old, like I said, went missing. I would say it was about a month he was missing before they found his body, and that was in a river that was there in Illinois. It took probably 2 weeks for them to identify his body, and I'm sure that's due to circumstances of being submerged in water, as well as the amount of time that he had already been deceased. The reason why I'm talking about this, I haven't spoken on this case yet, but with the recent events over the last couple days regarding his autopsy, I felt like maybe I could give some insight into that and what it possibly feels like, and what his mother may be going through to be dealing with multiple autopsies and different findings. So here goes. The first autopsy was done. Obviously, they probably did all the typical things that go along with autopsies. I won't get too graphic. And also, trigger warning for those of you who may have a sensitivity to hearing about things like this. I will be briefly describing certain body parts and things like that. So after the first autopsy was done, the family hired a private medical examiner to do a second autopsy, also to have, a second opinion, which I completely respect. If I was able to do so, I probably would have done the same thing in my father's case. So after the second autopsy happened, there was some conflicting evidence. The second medical examiner, mentioned that there were body parts missing, pieces that weren't there. He mentioned that Jelani's eyes were missing, his brain was missing, part of his jaw was sawed out, and sorry to say this, gentlemen, everyone, even his genitals were split open. I'm not sure, I've never heard of that being done in an autopsy, but possibly there's a reason for it. I'm not sure. I know that in previous investigative shows that I've watched and a little bit of reading before doing this video, there are certain pieces that are taken from different organs and things like that, and these different body parts are weighed out. Now, I understand that would take place, but as far as them missing altogether, that really sounds very suspicious, and that would cause me to have great concern as a loved one as well. So it appears that there will be a third autopsy taking place, and I'm sure that this is at the urging of Jelani's mother, Carmen, and the family. In fact, when the second autopsy report came out, everyone was quick to come to conclusion that this is probably organ harvesting that took place, and maybe this is the cause of his death, or the reason for his death, rather. Carmen, his mother, released a post actually on Facebook, and she said that she didn't believe this was organ harvesting, and she wanted everyone to stay focused on the crime itself, and she wanted this crime solved. Well, that was early yesterday. So last night, her children, Jelani's siblings, released a statement saying that they asked for some space, basically, is what they asked for their mother. I'm sure she is going through a tremendous amount of grief and mourning. In fact, I know she is. So in the statement, they also mentioned that she had previously said she didn't believe this was organ harvesting, but they kind of touched on that again, and I found that a little telling. They said that although she mentioned it not being organ harvesting, that the possibility of that is not completely out of their mindset, but her main focus is to get answers in the death of her son and to find the people responsible for killing him. So I think what she is doing here is actually very smart. So she's either got some really good people around her advising her, or she's just a very solid, strong individual that is really trying to keep her head right in such an awful time. She's trying to keep her eye on what needs to be done, and that's solving the crime of who took her son's life. Whatever took place to his body afterwards, that'll eventually come out, I'm sure. And whatever reasons why, whether it be the elements he was in, whether it was done during the autopsy or previous, all of those things will come out to the family anyways during whatever the investigation and trial starts to unfold. Forgive me if I'm a little shaky about this. It just brings back a few disturbing memories of my own, and this is why I feel like I can somewhat relate to the confusion they might be feeling. My father also had several autopsies, and I had to wait what was probably about 10 days, possibly 2 weeks, to even find out his cause of death. He had been waiting days for an autopsy, and there was only one medical examiner at the time in our area that was covering 3 separate counties. And that is a large area for those of you that know Monterey County. And to be covering 2 other counties other than that is quite a bit. Then the county wasn't satisfied with that autopsy, so they brought a medical examiner out of retirement that did an autopsy on my dad. And I believe there was a third also that was brought in to sort of put together the information the first 2 had found, find their own information out, and sort of conclude what the discovery was and findings. All of this said and done, basically in my dad's case, what it came down to is as simple as an x-ray, and they found out that his neck was broken. So, you know, that seems like a whole lot of work, a whole lot of really extra time and stress and torment on the family, myself, my family. I'm sure Carmen and Jelani's family are going through the same, waiting for answers. It's very difficult and it's very stressful during this time because you're just so desperate for answers. And in their case, it's probably so much more stressful because they don't actually have a person being held responsible at the time of, you know, for Jelani's death. So I'm praying that they get these answers and, you know, they find some peace in the information that they find out, although I can't imagine how that peace may come with these details that have been released. It's I normally don't even like speaking on things like this, but I felt that for no other reason. I've been through something similar with a relative who'd had several autopsies performed. I could speak on that and just say it's very difficult on the family. I hope that people are giving them their space, and yes, I feel like we should speak about this and report on it in a matter-of-fact way, but not invade their privacy. And the reason for speaking on it and reporting on it is because nobody has been found to be responsible for this yet. So the family needs answers. And the mother, Carmen, in my opinion, is very smart that she is the one who raised her voice enough that this caught some traction finally in the news. The first time I heard about this case, honestly, was when there was so many people reporting on Gabby Petito, and God rest her soul. I heard that the medical examiner in her case came out and confirmed that she was in fact strangled to death, so her cause of death has been released. But Jelani's mother was, obviously upset that her son's case wasn't getting the attention it deserved and needed. So I applaud her for raising her voice and making it known that, her boy needed to be looked at with the same amount of concern as other people. Everybody wants their loved one to be valued, right? I mean, don't we all? I can't imagine dealing with this as a parent, as a mother. It was bad enough dealing with it as a daughter when I lost my dad, but when it's a parent, it's a whole different story. So I just wanted to touch on that with you guys. Also, if you guys have any comments about this, what do you think, actually, if you could tell me in the comment section, why do you think that the autopsy reports are differing, the first to the second? Like, why would there be no mention of something missing in the first autopsy, but there is in the second? And allegedly, the first autopsy that was done, the medical examiner didn't mention these things were missing. I'm not sure if it was a slip up and these things were missing the first round, or if something funny took place. It just reminds me also, briefly before I, let you guys go, I remember a certain case in Fresno, California, several cases actually, where different people were coming up missing bones and different things like that in a funeral home out there. I actually knew someone who had a relative there, and sadly enough, they found that her father's bones had been replaced with PVC pipe when they were getting ready to bury him. And I guess there was some black market for taking the bone and bone marrow. I'm not sure what they did with it and what the reasoning was, but this person actually was charged and obviously for, tampering with a corpse, and got in a lot of trouble, and I'm sure is in prison still, because this was not too long ago, some years ago, but not too long. Just tell me what you guys think. I'll touch up on this, follow up if I get some updates, and let you guys know. If you're interested in any cases going on right now in the news or that you hear about, let me know. I have my email in the description of my channel. I'll go ahead and link it in the description box of this video. Also, if you guys have a story that you feel like you would like to tell, would be helpful to others, encouraging, or something that you've been through that you feel you've overcome some pretty big obstacles, or you just want to share your life, get in touch with me. I'll put my email, or you can reach me on Instagram at Convicted Hearts Jen Magana, and let me know, what you have to say. For now, I'm going to let you guys go. I miss you so much. I'm so glad to be back with you. I'll be touching down and touching in with you throughout the week. So I'm just sending you a ton of love from me to you. Stay blessed. Have a beautiful day.